Good afternoon, everybody. The topic which has been given to me is on the procurement in a globalized world. Okay. So, having understood from the morning session, like what about the negotiations, what are the skill sets we need to have, and then we moved into the ESG and all. Now, let us get into this. How the procurement should be there. What are the challenges we face during the when in terms of globalization. So, what are the key things? So, these are the things which I will be taking through. One is the context setting on global sourcing, and then global procurement challenges, then geopolitical impact, how global events influence procurement resilience, and then international trade consideration and future ready procurement. So, now when you ask this question, like what you mean by global sourcing and what are the things which comes to your mind. So, these are the sentiment analysis which has been picked up. So, we talk about it should be a low cost sourcing, and it should be it should be quality product, and then it should be about in terms of capacity building. So, these are the things which comes to the mind when we talk about the global sourcing. Then there are some myths which has been there in our mind. What are the myths which I try to capture over there? One myth is cutting cost. So, when we say global sourcing, it's all low cost product. So, people think that okay, it's always China, so it's always low cost. So, let us buy it from China because it's cheaply available. It's a very low cost and all. But that is not the thing actually. If you look at those, if you go to the China and try to understand the product and all, Chinese people are really smart. Like in terms of if you, they will never get into this negotiations thing. So, if you tell that I want this product at this price, they will give the product at that price, and the quality also will be like that. So, it should be very careful in terms of negotiation. So, whenever we talk with Chinese people, so we have to put the first what is our specifications. So, when we talk about those things like cutting cost and all, so cutting cost is there, but at the same time we get a quality product. And what we are trying to do while doing a global sourcing is we are trying to source the material which is having a competitive advantage where the quality product they are having, and they are talking about the core competencies of the product. So, these are the things, and then we are also talking about the capacity utilization. So, it is not about the only the cutting cost and all, we are trying to utilize the capacity, what is available. And also we are trying to have a new product which are which they are having, new innovative product which they are having. So, this is the thing. Second myth is cultural and language barriers make global sourcing impossible. So, we have seen that a lot of companies they are having a multi-language people where they train people based on the languages and all. With the kind of now AI which is coming in with the NLP, so where you can automatically whatever the language you speak, it is just converted into this readable format. So, now all the things are whatever the things was there, like if I go to China, then probably I will not be able to source it probably because we do not know the local language and all. But slowly people are getting trained over there and try to get the things, the cultural barriers and everything, it is getting dissolved. Then the another myth is coming to is global sourcing or offshoring are the same. It is not the same. Okay. So, what is it? Global sourcing means in terms of acquiring the products, and offshoring is like you are going and setting up the office and all. So, that's the difference between those two parameters. So, then the fourth myth is while with outsourcing you lose the control on your business and quality and all these things. This is what the myth is. So, actually if you are sourcing, global sourcing is that you are not losing the control, you are gaining the control. So, let me put this way. So, if I have to talk about global sourcing is put into GIS, Global Information Source System. So, nowadays with the kind of the data what we are having, so the kind of information systems what we are having, that is really driving the entire global scenario. So, if you look at those parameters in terms of the information, the data points and everything. So, the entire global is we can even source the material from anywhere. Now, it is not at all a challenge. So, now coming down to the next thing is what are the global procurement challenges. So, one is that the supply chain disruptions what is happening. So, in terms of logistics or you have seen that unforeseen events. So, everybody is aware of that Suez Canal, which I will just take you to this. So, most of you people have encountered this problem. Even I also faced during the time where this we were importing some of the materials, and due to this Suez Canal, our material got stuck, okay, very badly, and we were not able to source it as per our delivery timeline. So, then we had to move that entire container throughout the Africa. Then it comes to India. Okay. So, these are the things, and if you see look at the numbers, it's a $10 billion per day. This is the loss which has been occurred due to this. So, now when you talk about these kind of things like supply chain disruptions, what is happening. So, what are the risk and mitigations? So, what is that you need to do is you should have a supplier diversification. So, you should not put all egg in one basket. So, you should have a plan B in action. Second is you should have enough buffer inventory so that you are there is no delay or there is no production loss for you. And then you should also talk about the alternate transportive methods, how I can do it. Sometimes what we see is if it is a small item, we do the airlift. And in this case, when we had these challenges, we had to literally move towards Africa and all these things it came. That's an alternative route. So, the decision making should be very fast. You cannot say that I will be waiting because your project is getting stuck. And then you need to have a force majeure clauses well with all those things, so that you will not have any repercussions on the cost in terms of your project execution. So, coming down to your next challenges, regulatory challenges, where your compliances, then labor laws, import, export regulations. So, nowadays, if you have seen this Trump, so he is putting a lot of trade barriers, So, even China is also telling if you are putting the trade barriers, I will tit for tat. So, China is also telling I will also put the trade barrier. So, now what is happening is everybody is putting their boundary. So, I saw one interesting article, like it was there in the once the Trump had declared that I am going to impose this tariff on China and all. So, nice article came like in 2017 he has and when he was the president and all, he has put a big tariff on China. Same thing was there. So, people thought that the now Chinese goods will not come, and now so there will be a lot of make in America things will happen and all. So, to his surprises, what has happened, the entire Chinese goods went through the Mexico route and it came into the America. So, because it was a trade free barrier at the time. So, now even though there is a trade barrier which has been put, so now what is happening, he is putting a lot of stringent policies and everything. So, these are the things which is happening, and sometimes it is if two countries are, India is very good in terms of having a very democratic thing in terms of negotiating and all. So, you are seeing a lot of things which is happening over there. So, that is one. And then quality concern. So, non-adherence to the quality is also a big problem. So, and language barrier is what we are talking about, but slowly we are trying to minimize this thing, the language barrier and all. Then again currency fluctuation. So today you might have seen that it is almost $86.75. So earlier we were talking about 81 or like that. So now it has gone to the next level. So because the dollar is appreciating, okay. And other concerns are time zone, and then this applies to a lot of IT companies. So where they have to work in the US timings, night shift, and then cultural barriers are there. And next is having said this, now geopolitical impact, how global events influence the procurement resilience. So can we, what are the global challenges? What we are seeing is, I just put down some of the things over there, which I explained earlier also. One is the supply chain disruptions, then trade barriers, tariffs, political instability and civil unrest, and currency fluctuation. So you might have seen a lot of things are happening across the globe. One is recently which we have seen that Ukraine versus Russia, that is where it is getting hit, and then Bangladesh was a problem. So all these things are there. So now, is there any framework to address this, all these disruptions? So yes, there is a approach. We need to follow this. One is you need to first have the monitor the global developments. So you need to keep on monitoring those, what are the developments happening. So if there is anything is happening over there, then you need to automatically have a plan B in action. Then improve supply chain transparency. So we need to keep on talking to the vendors or your sub vendors regarding what is happening over there, what is happening in their country. So whether it is moving fine or not. And then assess the suppliers risk. Then what are the strategies to build the resilient supply chain? So one is the extend your supply chain base, like you can have use diversification. So if China is becoming a problem, so then you need to find out some which is the other country where you can get the same kind of material and then do that. Second is deepen the supplier relationship. So you can have a high level meeting with your CEOs and then MD of those companies to have that kind of relationship with them. And then optimize specifications, and then it's a very good example which is which has happened. A lot of people, we have experienced regarding this semiconductors price has got hiked and all. So all the everybody was moving around on the price jack up and all this thing. So even we used to buy some equipment, even all the delivery got delayed. So where the buzzword was semiconductor at that time. So and then Tesla was another one where I'll just give an example on this. On the what they have done is, so the consumption of semiconductor chips were very high based on the earlier design. So what they have done, they have optimized their design and then reduce the consumption of the semiconductor chips. So this is where you can optimize the specifications. And second is vertically integrate. So let's say if some countries are facing some problem eternally, like you are trying to source some material from Ukraine or something. So the war is not ending. Okay, still it is going on. So what is next for you? Either you have to look for some other country who can give the quality material, or you can do the vertical integrate or backward integrate. You need to do set up your own product for that. So considering the your product scale, and then international trade considerations. So these are the things what I put in. So when it comes to your global sourcing, what are the things top key things? One is we will be looking into the what is the law there, and then what is the origin, and then what we will be talking about in terms of the price, in terms of the exchange rate, in terms of the insurance, in terms of the documents, what all they required, in terms of the Incoterms, in terms of tariff, what they are going to put in, and then whether outsourcing, what we have to do that, and then custom duties, cost, and everything. So these are the things where we have put in, like what all you need to consider during the international trade. It's the last slide. So, how we should be making our future procurement team ready for this? One is that we need to have a supplier collaborations and strategic partnership. So, there is another thing what we are most of the companies are at a matured companies are trying to get into this, like strategic alliance model. Like this is where it's a where if you are having some core competencies, X company is having, and Y company is having another core competency. So, in order to have to meet that customer requirement, if both X and Y the requirement is there, so they are trying to make a partnership and try to get into a alliance mode and catering the entire customer demand. So, this is exactly what is happening in African countries. In Tata Group, if you are talking about, like, so the certain companies they formed a group like to cater the customer needs because they want everything. So 2-3 companies formed and try to get into that addressing the customer requirement. So this is where the like a strategic alliance model. And in the large companies also we do have JVs. Even if you talk about this bullet train, whatever it is, L&T is having a JV with a Japanese partner. So these kind of things are having it. So in EPC thing. And then when you talk about digital transformation and technology adoption, this is a must. And build a resilient supply chain team where we need to have enough vendors to cater your needs. And then cost management versus value creation. So we are moving away from the cost centric or earlier procurement where procurement was meant only for cost reduction. So we are trying to give the value creation out of this. So we are also trying to give an alternate material with a low cost with a high quality things. So how we are doing it, this is what we are trying to create a value. So this is what we are trying to do. And nowadays with a lot of AI coming in, and then earlier it was still it was there, we were a lot of people were doing this, but this is a data driven decision making. So now earlier we used to have this training session when I attended in this thing. They used to have this body language training sessions. So nowadays that kind of this, when you call the supplier, the information is available is available with everybody. So if you talk to him on the data, he will be more interested rather than getting into this kind of old school of thoughts of body language and all these things. Then talent, skills and development, that we need to do it. These are the things. Then cyber security and data privacy, that's a must have, because lot of supply chain and procurement is driven through data, and it has to be, data has to be secured. And last is that sustainability and ECG compliance, it's a must. So we have already talked enough of ESG compliance and sustainability. So these is the some 8 things which I jotted down, which it is a part of the future ready procurement team should have. Okay. So that's it, I think.